Every Sunday morning on this Clear Channel radio station, I host a 30-minute long public affairs program called Hot Topic. My name is Lynn Hernandez. This show is for all of us that live here in Green Country. So if you have a concern in your neighborhood, by all means, email me and I will do my best to get to the bottom of it, do some research, and it just might be a topic here on Hot Topic. And also, if you're an organizer or you're the director of an organization and you've got some events coming up that you'd like to get out to the public, same thing applies. Please email me and we'll talk about it and see if you can be on Hot Topic here on this Clear Channel station. In fact, it would be on all of our Clear Channel radio stations here in Tulsa. My email address is simple. It's just my name, Lynn Hernandez at clearchannel.com. And Lynn is spelled Lynn. I was reading an article in the Tulsa World about Trader Joe's, a pop-up store, and throughout the article it explains how Tulsa Young Professionals is sort of bringing this store to Tulsa, whether they want to or not. And with me today is the executive director of Tulsa Young Professionals, Brian Paschal. Brian, welcome to Hot Topic.
Thanks for having me on, Lynn. I'm excited to be here.
Well, explain what this pop-up store is.
Sure. We're a membership, volunteer-driven organization, and this idea kind of sprang out from some volunteers. We're in the fortunate position of having members kind of move here from other cities or move here from college, and maybe they lived in other cities where they had various national retailers that they don't have in Tulsa. And that kind of led the organization to say, okay, why don't we have some of these things? We did a survey of our members and asked them what sort of retail shops they'd like to see. One of them that kind of consistently came up was Trader Joe's, which we can talk about if people don't know what that is. And the kind of interest that we got from that led us to make it not about an individual store coming to Tulsa, but a greater business attraction idea, which we're calling Bring It to Tulsa, and we are launching it with a pop-up Trader Joe's shop. And really, our interest behind doing it was multi-layered. Obviously, our members wanted Trader Joe's to come to Tulsa. Whether that's eminently realistic, we didn't really care. We just wanted to press forward and do a fun project. The other things that we really wanted to highlight, though, with this project, one is just a huge need for a full-service grocery store in downtown Tulsa, be that Trader Joe's, something local, or another national chain.
So for those that don't know, Trader Joe's is sort of a higher-end boutique kind of grocery store.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, just
okay.
Other than what I read in the article. So explain what Trader Joe's actually is.
Yeah, sure. It's I wouldn't necessarily call it higher end only in terms of their prices. Their prices are fantastic, which I think speaks to young professionals. So they're big into the organic foods and kind of non-national brands. They have their own branded products, so that keeps the cost down. So, the kind of sales pitch of Trader Joe's is, Whole Foods-like quality, but everyday prices. And that's what got everybody excited. So it's beyond just Trader Joe's. There are issues which we can talk about and why I think, it may not come here in the immediate future. But again, our bigger point was, as an organization, Tulsa's Young Professionals has always supported downtown development, getting more of a critical mass of people living down there. And I think key to that is a full-service grocery store.
Absolutely.
So it was important to us to open this pop-up shop downtown. And when we fill these orders on February 16th, we're going to be collecting the zip code of everybody that ordered.
Oh, nice.
In an effort to lobby anyone willing or thinking about opening a grocery store downtown to say, listen, we know it's a chicken and the egg situation with you need people downtown to open a grocery store, but if you open the right store, you're going to be able to draw people that don't just live downtown, and hopefully that can spur further development in downtown Tulsa. Another reason that we picked Trader Joe's first, because they're obviously not all food service companies that we're going to focus on and bring it to Tulsa, was Oklahoma liquor laws. And just really wanting to offer into discussion the idea that it's really an economic development issue beyond an alcohol issue. Trader Joe's is an $8.5 billion a year company, yet because of our current liquor laws, they're not expanding in states like Oklahoma. On our website, people have already responded that they have gone to states most recently such as Colorado, which have similar laws as ours. But laws are state to state. And as we've researched the Colorado laws, ours are still a bit different from theirs. And unless we look at kind of tweaking those laws, I think it's going to be a little while longer before they come here. And, you know, as an organization, we're not sure what those tweaks are. All we want to do is be successful in kind of shining a spotlight on the issue. So if we can shine a spotlight on downtown food desert issues and the need to potentially look at updating our liquor laws, and then have a good time doing it and expose Trader Joe's to people that don't know about it, then we see it as a success.
And why are the Oklahoma liquor laws still to the point of selling only lower alcohol content?
You know, that's probably above my pay grade. You know, I spent most of my adult life in California, and only recently in the last couple of years moved back here. But, you know, as I've learned a little bit about it, I think one of the keys is that they're written into our state constitution.
Yes.
And I think that it's a long road to haul. But, you know.
Not easy to overturn, although it seems to be a conversation ongoing every year.
Exactly. And what we really wanted to do is, I think a lot of times when young professionals talk about updating liquor laws, you know, the pushback you get is, well, they just want to party more or go out more. And what we're hoping to spotlight with this Trader Joe's is that it really is a jobs and economic development issue.
Well, when you're trying to bring young professionals in from out of town, hello, most of them are fresh out of college.
Exactly.
You know, so it's either, you know, you got Texas just south of us that has a lot of young professionals, in Austin especially.
Yeah, and, you know, you bring up an interesting point, you know, just going back to TYPros and what its mission is as an organization. It was started in 2005 with the mission to attract and retain young professionals to Tulsa and develop the next generation of leader. And so this project is one of 80 that we do in a year. But we felt like, to your point, you know, the issues of national change just from a perception standpoint, combined with wanting to continue to develop a downtown, combined with looking at our liquor laws, that really speaks to our mission of attracting and retaining young professionals. So it's gotten a lot of attention, and hopefully it's fun.
Yes, and I hate to sort of put it like, well, the whole rest of the country, you know, has different liquor laws than we do. Why don't we? You know, I mean, I think more than half of the country has a higher liquor content available. And like you said, I don't want to make it sound like we just want to party and have a good time, but
right.
It seems like, you know, the other states that have, you know, higher liquor content stores and distribute higher liquor content beer and whatnot are doing just fine.
Right. Well, you know, our thing is, we know it's a complicated issue.
Yes, it is very.
But doing nothing didn't seem like a wise choice. So we're going to do this shop, and if it gets people debating what our laws are, that's great.
So let's talk about TYPros. You sort of mentioned a little bit about your mission statement and when it started. So who are you guys affiliated with? The Tulsa Chamber, I assume, right?
Sure, yeah. In 2005, the Tulsa Regional Chamber were looking at some statistics and realized that a lot of our 20-somethings were leaving the state, going to places that you just mentioned: Dallas, Austin, Denver, Chicago, Kansas City, you know, obvious places. And they felt like they needed to kind of stop that brain drain. So it was started in 2005 as a program under the Chamber, and it falls under workforce and education, and they see it as a workforce attraction initiative. You know, now that we're going into our 8th year, we've grown. We're the largest young professionals organization in the country.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. We have 2 to 3 people sign up a day, 365 days a year.
Nice.
So, you know, with retention, we're communicating with about 7,000 people on a weekly basis.
Well, let's get some more today.
Exactly.
I know today is Super Bowl Sunday, but, you know, happy Super Bowl Sunday to you.
Thank you.
49ers or Ravens?
Man, that's tough. You know,
it is a tough one.
I kind of like the 49ers story, although I went to the University of Southern California and Jim Harbaugh beat up on us a few years, so it's tough to root for him.
I wanted to get the word out about TYPros. When I saw your article in the Tulsa World, you guys always seem to be doing something, which I love. When I was in college, I was always involved with organizations, president of the marketing club at Ohio State, and lots of other things. So I think it looks great. every time I see something in the Tulsa world where TYPros or Tulsa Young Professionals doing this and doing that. So I wanted you to come in and explain not only what it is, but how can people listening to this radio station right now join?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to start by saying the reason that we're able to do these great projects and that they get attention is because of the volunteers. So we have 2 to 3 volunteers sign up a day. That gives us a really large pool of people. And while I'm paid and an employee, all of the initiatives that we do are entirely volunteer driven. So I really have to sing the praises of our volunteers. And Tulsa is fortunate to have as many engaged young professionals as they do. I think the key to our organization is that it's free to join, and 99% of what we do is free, other than looking for some time investment and some sweat equity. It's as simple as going to TYPros.org. There's a giant Join Now button. What that means is that you'll begin getting an email from me once a week. That email will outline the next 5 to 6 weeks of events or initiatives that we're doing. And we want to be as easy as possible for young professionals. We understand that, sometimes they get a new job, they change jobs, they're starting a family. There's going to be periods in their life where they can be very active, and there's periods in their life where they need to focus on their career or their family and maybe pull back. So you can click on any of our events and pick and choose what you'd like to do. Like I mentioned, we have 80 plus events a year, and I kind of group those into 3 big categories. One would be professional development. So that could be anything from, if you're early in your career, interview skills, resume, networking. If you're more advanced in your career, we run courses on managing people, more kind of entrepreneurial small business programming. The second kind of bunch of programming that we do is just networking. Some of that's strictly social, which is hugely valuable to people that move to Tulsa from a college campus atmosphere, and they're suddenly find themselves working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and they need to know that our city has stuff to offer. We also do business networking events to kind of get people vertically networked so that they can, increase their career paths. And then the third kind of giant bundling of programming that we do, which our Bring It to Tulsa initiative falls under, is community engagement. And that's really where I've seen in the last 2 years, really, our organization's volunteers focusing. So, whether it's, and that's where we kind of bunch all of our grassroots, let's just do it. And stop talking about things. Again, who knows what'll happen of the Trader Joe's pop-up store in the long run. But what we do know is we are bringing them for a day, and no one else was doing that.
That's awesome, yeah.
And similar in that kind of community impact, we started something 2.5 years ago called Street Cred, which is a yearly initiative where we do grassroots, guerrilla-style community revitalization. And we started in 2011 and focused on the Pearl District. And then last year we were focused in West Tulsa.
The Pearl District, for those that don't know, it's adjacent to downtown.
Yeah,
right?
We focus specifically on 6th and Peoria, which is where the new Phoenix Cafe opened. And it's 6th Street is a natural corridor from downtown to TU. But in 2010, 2011, when we were looking at it, there was a lot of small area plans for that area. Not a lot of people knew where the Pearl District was, to your point in question just now. I think that's changing, and there's a lot of good development going there now. But 2 years ago, I think people had heard what the Pearl District is. They were less sure exactly where it was. But there'd been plans on the books for decades, and young professionals want to be active and they want to see a difference. And so we came up with this idea, thanks to the hard work of volunteers, of let's look at those plans, and rather than kind of continuing to talk about it, on the cheap, let's see what we can do for a weekend. And so we looked at the plan. We weren't necessarily endorsing the plan one way or the other. We just wanted to add to the conversation. And that plan involved narrowing the road from 4 lanes to 2, creating a canal, making it really a retail district. And at the time, none of that was there, and there was a lot of boarded up buildings. So what we did is we took the enthusiasm of our volunteers, and we worked with the building owners, who were great. We took down some of the plywood on the windows. We worked with local entrepreneurs to open up shops for the weekend, strung lights across the road. It needed to be lit, make it more safe. Then we worked to narrow the road officially for the weekend from 4 to 2 lanes. And there was a lot of debate. People had been debating for a while. That is an artery out of downtown. Will that just cause congestion, or will it achieve its goal of slowing down traffic and making it more of a walkable neighborhood? We didn't know the answer to that question. We obviously hoped we weren't going to create congestion, but if we were, it was only going to be for a weekend, and we would have then provided information to that debate as they continued to develop their neighborhood. I'm happy to report that it actually worked really well.
Awesome.
It did slow down traffic, and it was a great event. So that's sort of just let's do it and try to make a difference is where our organization is, I think, focused going forward. And we're excited that this year, in May, we're doing our third street cred, and it's going to be at 36th Street North in Peoria.
So 36th Street North, that is North Tulsa.
Yes. So first year was just outside of downtown. Last year was West Tulsa. And this year we're going to focus on North Tulsa. The organization really rallied behind this slogan, when no area of Tulsa is neglected, the entire city benefits. So each year we work with the community to kind of listen to them to figure out what they would like. And we recently did that in North Tulsa a couple of weeks ago, and we're putting together a plan. I know it's going to include a lot of food issues because North Tulsa is a food desert. So we want to bring up some, farmers market sort of vendors, healthy food options. It'll obviously be more extensive than that, but we don't want to go into a neighborhood and assume what they want. We want to look at the plans that have already been written, speak with the community leaders that are there, and hopefully shine a spotlight on an area, get it some attention, and even if our impact can only be short term, hopefully it leads to representatives or businesses or entrepreneurs that look at an area and see its potential in a stronger way than they did before.
We're talking with Brian Paschal, the Tulsa Young Professionals Executive Director.
Yes.
And the web address is TYPros.org, Tulsa Young Professionals. I always seem to hear about you guys on the news and read about you guys in Tulsa World and People Magazine and all that. So I'm glad you were able to come in and sort of explain what you guys do. If there's somebody listening right now and they would like to join, are there requirements to join Tulsa Young Professionals? I assume there's an age limit just because of the name of the organization.
Yeah, we are 21 to 40-year-old based. Obviously, the second half of our mission is to develop the next generation of leaders. So we are focused there. But other than that, we're always looking for new ideas. So and we're always wanting to be very inclusive of what a professional is. I feel like early on, people had an impression that you had to be a banker or a lawyer or something. And I'm really hopeful that impression has changed. We just launched an arts and entertainment initiative focused specifically on arts and culture, engaging an artist community. As well as we launched a business incubator in downtown for startup companies, an actual physical building where we have affordable lease space. And the idea is basically just to get a whole bunch of smart young people that have ideas under one roof. So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an artist, really anyone that wants to be engaged in a city or is looking for an outlet, I encourage them to sign up. The best way to get engaged beyond just signing up in that email is the first Wednesday of every month at 5:30. We have a orientation, an overview of the organization, where the 8 leaders of our kind of committees or crews will outline what they're working on. And you can come to that, listen to all of those individuals who are wonderful, and just say, that area of interest is for me, this one's not, and get engaged that way. But I do want to stress, all of these ideas that we come up with are volunteer driven. So if you've moved here from another city, if you've just graduated, or you're in a job and you think I need to do something more community-minded with some of my free time, please come out. We're always looking for new ideas, and we'll find a way to hopefully rally some support behind them.
And what a great way to network too.
Yeah, I wish I didn't start my career here in Tulsa, but I certainly wish that I had an organization similar to this. I think it makes it a lot easier to make that transition from college to career or moving to a new city.
And Wednesday night, there's nothing on TV Wednesday night anyway.
Exactly.
So, I'm looking at the website right now, typros.org, and I clicked on our mission, and it's so great that you talk about the mission, which is the mission of Tulsa's young professionals is to attract and retain young talent in the Tulsa region while also establishing Tulsa's next generation of business and community leaders. And then right next to the picture, the mission is a picture of some chick on a big wheel.
Yes.
And so you guys had this big wheel race down. Well, was it downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it was right there near Veterans Park.
And it was in
closed the
June.
Road. Yes,
yes, because I remember seeing this on the news when you guys did it, and it looked hilarious to me.
You know that in particular was a fundraiser. Each year, TYPros picks a community partner to raise money for and awareness for. This year, that organization is the Arts and Humanities Council of Tulsa. We're not doing the big wheel race this year because we always want to keep it fresh. But what we are doing. I should plug this because it is a fundraiser for the Arts and Humanities Council.
Sure.
February 23rd, I believe, a Saturday, at Fassler Hall. Yes, February 23rd, we are bringing back Charity Okie, which is a singing competition, karaoke competition. We're going to have background dancers. It's quite the affair at Fassler Hall. And
you can get some bratwurst while you're there.
Exactly.
Eat some sausage.
Never
Love
a bad
Fassler
thing.
Hall. It's one of my favorite places down in the Blue Dome District.
Absolutely. And they've been very supportive of us. So thank you, Fassler Hall.
I also see a tab on here that is titled Sponsors. So I'm sure since it is volunteer based that you have many people in the Tulsa community that help you along the way. You want to go ahead and give your sponsors a nice plug here?
That would be wonderful.
Sure.
You know, as I said earlier, we are free to join, and 99% of the 80+ events that we do a year are free. And the only way we're able to do that is from the support of our corporate sponsors. And again, Tulsa is very fortunate to have companies that support initiatives like this, which are a workforce attraction initiative. You know, our benefactor sponsors who really go above and beyond the call of duty are Dollar Thrifty, One Oak, the Schusterman Foundation, and Tulco Oils. You know, beyond that though, everything we do has a sponsor. We're excited to at all of our events sing their praises, and can't thank them enough for allowing us to do what we do.
And as you mentioned, you have a list of activities throughout the year. You mentioned at 36th and Peoria, North 36th and Peoria, North Tulsa on May 11th. You've got an event there.
Yes.
What's that called?
Street Cred.
Called Street Cred.
Yes.
But what else do you have coming up?
Sure. You know, we have 8 crews focused on various points of interest for volunteers. So, you know, they're focused on arts and entertainment, attracting people to Tulsa, business development and entrepreneurship, diversity, government relations, next generation leadership, sustainability, and urbanist, which is urban revitalization. You know, in addition to the Charity Okie fundraising event and the Trader Joe's pop-up store, we're also in February going to be doing our annual YP Day at the Capitol, which is an opportunity for young professionals to hop on a bus with us. We'll drive to Oklahoma City, line up a full day of interacting with legislators on issues that are important to young professionals. It's something we've done every year since we've been an organization, and you know, have a good relationship with those legislators, and it's really just an opportunity to educate them on things that young professionals see as important.
And great for the legislators to have a whole group of young professionals from the Tulsa market to come out to the Capitol. And so I assume it's a kind of a win-win thing.
Yeah, you know, bringing 35 to 50 people in a specific age demographic and inviting legislators to come and hear what we have to say, hearing what they have to say, and doing it year in, year out. I think it really provides an opportunity that just sending an email to your legislator can't fulfill. So
sure, nothing better than face-to-face
exactly, and you know, we hear that a lot from the legislator's side. You know, just taking time out of your day to go down there allows you to have your voice heard.
What day is that again?
That is February 27th.
Is there a cost for that?
No. Again, that's free. We will get the bus. We'll provide lunch. If you guys can get off of work, we'd love to have you join us. We leave at 8 a.m. We're back by 5 p.m. And you can register on our website as well.
I'm talking with Brian Paschal, the Executive Director of Tulsa Young Professionals. The web address is typros.org. On Twitter, on Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, So you guys obviously are very accessible to
Yes, we try
anyone
to
that
be.
is listening right now.
Absolutely.
What about your email address?
Sure. You can email me directly at Brian Paschal, and that's Paschal, and Brian with an I, at TYPros.org. To your point, yeah, we try to be as accessible as possible. We're always looking for opportunities to engage with the community, for new volunteers that might be interested in coming up with ideas. And, the arts and entertainment crew that I mentioned was just started, and it sprung from an interest that we had on members. So we're an organization that's continually changing, malleable. We'll drop events that we're not getting traction on. We'll add and test new ones. So engage with us, come on out, and if you have an idea that leads to something bigger, we'd love to hear it.
Man, and with the Brady Arts District just exploding right now, and I knew it would as soon as the plans were unveiled to move Driller Stadium to its new location to One Oak Field, I thought, and I always loved the Brady Arts District you got Kane's Ballroom and Brady Theater,
Anchoring
and then everything sort of just the whole feel of it, I had a feeling that place was going to explode, and it has, but it needs a grocery store.
Yeah,
Every place downtown. I told you before we went on the air, I lived in Austin for 9 years, and Austin's got Whole Foods, which is humongous, right downtown.
Right.
And now you go to Austin, and they've got these giant condominium skyscrapers. They're not business. They're not retail outlets. It's condominiums. And how do they sustain all the people that live downtown? Because they got a giant grocery store right downtown, walking distance.
Exactly, and that's going back to highlighting the liquor laws, and it really is an economic development issue.
Okay, so we've talked almost 30 minutes now
Oh, wow.
about what you guys do for the community, which is fantastic, and the wonderful way that you can help Tulsa young professionals incorporate their skills with others and just sort of help out the entire community. Is there something that you guys need from the community? Say if there's a business owner listening right now, or somebody that didn't even know you guys existed that has some resources that's willing to help the community.
Yeah, I would just say, reach out. Please be in touch with me. If it's a small business or a potential sponsor, we do 80 plus events a year. Some are big and have thousands of people. Others have a dozen. So there's various ways to engage with us on a sponsor level. And if anyone's listening that kind of fits our age demographic, I'd really love to hear from you and get new ideas and hopefully get you engaged. To your point, though, real quickly about Brady District,
Sure.
I think it's a great time to live in Tulsa. And, I moved here 2.5 years ago from California, and there's just so much development going on. We're an organization that can help get you plugged into what that development is. So whether it's, last week or 2 weeks ago, we hosted an event with GKFF, George Kaiser Family Foundation, where they kind of gave us a sneak peek at their park on Riverside.
Right. Yeah.
Which was fantastic. So if you have an interest in seeing what Tulsa can become and is becoming kind of month after month, please come out.
Brian, we only have a couple minutes left. We were talking about the Brady Arts District, and you guys do so much for the community, just inviting everyone that has a great idea to come on board, and you just never know where these great ideas are going to go. There's something that the mayor started that I thought was pretty cool. It's a new website called feedbacktulsa.org. And it's simply sort of the same thing, only just internet driven, and the mayor's office looks at all the comments, and I posted something on there when it first started, and that was when I lived in Austin. One thing I thought that was really cool about 6th Street is not just all the great live music, which I enjoy, all kinds of live music, but also that they block off the streets. And I thought that was really neat to be able to walk around the middle of 6th Street, on a Friday night and Saturday night, and the weather's really nice. And you just kind of sort of like Mardi Gras or the New Orleans, the way that they block off the French Quarter down there all the time. So, I put that on feedback, feedbacktulsa.org. I just mentioned, I don't know where, maybe Brookside or Blue Dome District or the new Brady Arts District, just to block it off. And it's just kind of a neat feeling to go and enjoy downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually promoted that website or that link, a link to the feedback, Tulsa. Again, what's great about a city Tulsa size is that feedback is going to be read. and heard.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes maybe the change takes longer than people would like, but what I can tell you living here is people are at least being heard, which is great.
Brian Paschal, the executive director of Tulsa Young Professionals, thank you very much for coming on Hot Topic. And the last thing I want to say is, can you please do something about getting water in the Arkansas River?
We'd love to. Thanks for having it.
We've been trying to get water in this thing on a consistent basis for a long time. So anyway, but thank you very much for coming by, and enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate it.